Welcome to the DP-100 Exam-Style Q&A series. In this video, we will cover questions 4 to 7. Here's question 4. This question is included in a number of questions that depict the same setup. However, each question has a different outcome. You have been tasked with employing a machine learning model that makes use of a Postgres database and requires GPU processing to forecast prices. You are preparing to create a virtual machine that has the necessary tools built into it. You need to choose the correct virtual machine type. Recommendation: you make use of a Geo-AI Data Science Virtual Machine, Windows Edition. Will the requirements be satisfied? The answer options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is B. No. For a machine learning model that requires GPU acceleration, the correct choice would be a deep learning virtual machine or a standard data science virtual machine, depending on the workload. Let's understand why this recommendation does not satisfy the requirements. A Geo-AI Data Science Virtual Machine, also known as a Geo-DSVM, is designed specifically for geospatial and GIS workloads. It is optimized for tools such as ArcGIS, spatial analytics, and mapping-based solutions. Although a Geo-DSVM may support GPU resources, it is not intended for general machine learning forecasting workloads that use databases like Postgres. Exam tip: DP-100. If the question mentions geospatial analysis, choose Geo-DSVM. If the question mentions machine learning models, forecasting, databases, and GPU processing, do not choose Geo-DSVM. GPU plus machine learning equals deep learning virtual machine. Now let's continue with question 5. This question is part of a group of questions that share the same setup, but each one has a different outcome. You have been tasked with employing a machine learning model that uses a Postgres database and requires GPU processing to forecast prices. You are preparing to create a virtual machine that has the necessary tools built into it. You need to choose the correct virtual machine type. Recommendation: you make use of a deep learning virtual machine, also known as a DLVM, Windows Edition. Will the requirements be satisfied? The answer options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is A. Yes. Let's understand why this is correct. A deep learning virtual machine is specifically designed for GPU-accelerated machine learning. It comes pre-configured with popular deep learning frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and other machine learning tools. A DLVM fully supports NVIDIA GPU processing, which is required for this workload. It can also connect to external databases such as PostgreSQL. This makes it an ideal choice for price forecasting and predictive machine learning models. Now let's look at why the other option is incorrect. B. No. Incorrect. All requirements are clearly met. GPU support, machine learning frameworks, and database connectivity are already available in a DLVM. There is no missing capability. Exam tip: DP-100. If a question mentions machine learning, forecasting, and GPU processing, the correct answer is almost always deep learning virtual machine. Remember this rule: GPU plus machine learning equals DLVM. Let's move on to question 6. This question is part of a group that shares the same setup, but each one leads to a different answer. You are working with a machine learning model that uses a Postgres database and requires GPU processing to forecast prices. You are preparing to create a virtual machine with all the required tools built in. You need to select the correct virtual machine type. Recommendation: you make use of a data science virtual machine, also known as a DSVM, Windows Edition. Will the requirements be satisfied? The answer options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is B. No. Let's understand why. A data science virtual machine is intended for traditional data science tasks. It supports data exploration, feature engineering, and classical machine learning. However, a Windows DSVM is not optimized for GPU-based workloads. GPU drivers and deep learning frameworks are not fully pre-configured. Since GPU processing is required, this recommendation does not meet the requirements. Now let's eliminate the incorrect option. A. Yes. Incorrect. Because GPU acceleration is mandatory, and DSVM Windows does not guarantee GPU-ready deep learning support. Exam tip: DP-100. If a question mentions GPU, deep learning, or CUDA, the answer is not DSVM. GPU plus machine learning equals DLVM. Now let's move on to question 7. You have been tasked with moving data into Azure Blob storage to support Azure Machine Learning. Which of the following tools can be used to complete this task? The options are A. AzCopy, B. Bulk Copy Program, BCP, C. SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS, D. Bulk Insert SQL Query, E. Azure Storage Explorer. The correct answers are A. AzCopy, C. SQL Server Integration Services, E. Azure Storage Explorer. Let's understand why these options are correct. AzCopy is a command line tool specifically designed to move data into and out of Azure Blob storage. It is fast, scalable, and commonly used with Azure Machine Learning datasets. SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS, is an enterprise data integration tool. It can move data from on-premises or cloud sources directly into Azure Blob storage. This makes it suitable for data pipelines feeding Azure ML. Azure Storage Explorer is a graphical tool used to manage Azure storage. It allows you to upload files and folders directly into Blob storage. Now let's eliminate the incorrect options. Bulk Copy Program, BCP, incorrect. BCP is used to move data between SQL Server and flat files. It does not support direct uploads to Azure Blob storage. Bulk Insert SQL Query, incorrect. Bulk Insert loads data into SQL Server tables. Azure Blob storage is object storage, not a relational database. Exam tip. DP-100. When you see Azure Blob Storage and Azure Machine Learning, think file-based data movement tools. The safest answers are AzCopy, Azure Storage Explorer, and SSIS. Eliminate SQL-only tools like BCP and bulk insert. That wraps up question 7. If you found these questions helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more DP-100 exam-style Q&A sessions. See you in the next question.